Is there anything more terrifying and yet strangely intoxicating than the idea of pushing all your chips into the center of the table and saying, "I don't care about tomorrow, I want the ring today"? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We need to have a serious, heart-to-heart conversation about the price of glory, because right now, the rumor mill is churning out a scenario that strikes at the very soul of what it means to build a baseball dynasty versus buying a championship. We are staring down the barrel of a trade proposal that is as controversial as it is bold. And it involves the one name we've been protecting like a state secret for years, Andrew Painter. Let's set the stage properly because the context here is absolutely critical. We just watched Ranger Suarez pack his bags for Boston, leaving a lefty-sized hole in our rotation that feels a lot bigger than the stats might suggest. Sure, on paper, the rotation still looks formidable. We have the ace in Zack, the rising star in Christopher Sanchez, the new blood in Jesus Luzardo, and the veteran presence of Nola. But let's be real with each other for a second. Are we completely comfortable? Nola's struggles last season weren't just a blip, they were a siren blaring in the distance. Taijuan Walker has been a roller coaster ride that often leaves us feeling a little nauseous. And then there's the golden boy, Andrew Painter. We've been waiting for his arrival like he's the messiah of the mound. But here is the cold, hard truth that nobody wants to admit. Potential doesn't win playoff games. Performance does. This brings us to the bombshell dropped by Bleacher Report's Kerry Miller. The proposal is simple, brutal, and earth-shattering. The Philadelphia Phillies receive all-star right-hander Joe Ryan from the Minnesota Twins. In exchange, we send them our crown jewel, our number one prospect, Andrew Painter. Just let that sink in for a moment. We are talking about trading away a guy who is ranked as the number 16 overall prospect in all of baseball, a kid with an arm that scouts drool over for a proven commodity. This isn't just a trade, it's a philosophical war. It's the classic bird in the hand versus two in the bush dilemma, but with World Series implications. Why would we even consider this? Because the window is closing, folks. It's not slamming shut tomorrow, but it's creaking. This core, Harper, Turner, Wheeler, isn't getting any younger. The pressure to win isn't next year, it is right now. And while the romantic in us wants to see Painter grow into a homegrown legend like Cole Hamels, the pragmatist looks at his 5.40 ERA in AAA last season and gets nervous. Is he ready for the bright lights of October? Or would Joe Ryan, fresh off an all-star campaign with a 3.42 ERA and nearly 200 strikeouts, be the missing piece that finally gets us a parade down Broad Street? This is the question that keeps GMs awake at night. And today, we are going to dissect every painful, thrilling angle of it. Let's get into the weeds here, because the devil is always in the details. When you look at Joe Ryan, you aren't just looking at a stat line, you are looking at stability. In a rotation that has questions surrounding the back end, Ryan brings a level of certainty that is incredibly valuable. Imagine a playoff rotation of Wheeler, Ryan, Sanchez, and Luzardo. That is a four-headed monster that could go toe-to-toe with the Dodgers, the Braves, or anyone the American League throws at us in Fall Classic. Ryan isn't a rental either. He comes with 2 more years of club control. This fits the Dave Dombrowski modus operandi perfectly. Acquire established talent that helps you win now, but doesn't leave you completely high and dry the following season. But we have to talk about the cost. Trading Andrew Painter is painful. It physically hurts. We have spent years hyping this kid up. We've watched the rehab videos, we've tracked the velocity readings, we've dreamed on the ceiling. To trade him now, right before he potentially breaks out, feels like selling Apple stock in the 90s. If Painter goes to Minnesota and becomes the next Justin Verlander, we will never hear the end of it. It will be the trade that cursed the franchise for a generation. However, we have to look at the history of pitching prospects. For every Verlander, there are 10 guys who blow out their elbows or never figure out major league hitting. TINSTAP, there is no such thing as a pitching prospect. It's a cruel acronym, but it exists for a reason. Painter's struggles in AAA last year are a reminder that development isn't linear. Can we afford to let him figure it out in the majors while we are trying to chase down a title? And what about the ripple effects on the current roster? Bringing in Joe, Ryan solves the Taijuan Walker problem instantly. Walker gets pushed to the bullpen, becoming a long relief option or a spot starter. This deepens the pitching staff immensely. Instead of holding our breath every fifth day, the rotation becomes a relentless machine. It also sends a message to the clubhouse. It tells Bryce Harper and Tree Turner that the front office is all in. It tells the fans that good enough isn't the standard anymore. We saw the Twins start their fire sale last deadline, sending us Harrison Bader and Joan Duran. The pipeline between Minnesota and Philly is already open. The executives know each other. The framework is there. This isn't a fantasy trade cooked up in a vacuum. It has logical roots in recent history. Let's play out the what-if scenarios. Scenario A. Wiki Painter. He comes up, struggles with command, gets shelled a few times, and gets sent back down. We missed the division title by 2 games because our 5th starter spot was a black hole. The fan base riots. Scenario B. We trade for Ryan. He dominates. We win the World Series. Nobody cares about Painter anymore because we have a trophy. Scenario C. We trade for Ryan, we lose in the NLCS, and Painter wins the Cy Young for the Twins 3 years later. That is the nightmare scenario. But fear is the mind killer in baseball management. You cannot operate out of fear of looking bad later. You have to operate on the probability of winning today. The analytics department is likely crunching these numbers right now, weighing Ryan's high strikeout rate and low walk rate against Painter's raw, unrefined stuff. It's a clash of the known versus the unknown, the floor versus the ceiling. So, where does this leave us? We are standing at a crossroads that defines eras. If the Phillies pull the trigger on this deal, they are signaling that the future is a luxury they can no longer afford to prioritize over the present. It is a ruthless, cold-blooded approach to team building, but history is written by the victors, not the hoarders of prospects. Look at the teams that have won recently. The Rangers, the Astros, the Dodgers, they made the hard moves. They traded away beloved young players to get the pieces that put them over the top. Sometimes it burns you, but often flags fly forever while prospects fade into obscurity. The emotional component of this cannot be overstated. We love our homegrown kids. There is something special about watching a player come up through the reading Fightin Phils, dominate in Lehigh Valley, and then take the mound at Citizens Bank Park. It creates a bond between the player and the city. Trading Painter severs that potential bond before it even fully forms. But ask yourself this. Would you rather have a homegrown hero on a second-place team or a mercenary ace on a World Series champion? The answer seems obvious, but when it's your prospect, it's never that simple. The Twins would be getting a lottery ticket that could pay out billions, but the Phillies would be getting the cash in hand. Ultimately, this trade proposal forces us to confront our own patience. Are we willing to wait for Painter? Do we trust the development staff to fix the issues that led to that 5.40 ERA in AAA? Or do we trust Dave Dombrowski to do what he does best, push the chips in and go for the throat? Joe Ryan is an all-star. He strikes people out. He prevents runs. He is exactly what a contender needs. Andrew Painter is a dream. A beautiful, high-velocity dream, but a dream nonetheless. In the harsh light of a pennant race, dreams don't get outs. I want to know where you stand on this, because this is the most divisive topic we've had in a long time. Are you team keep the kid and trust the process, believing Painter is the next great Phillies ace? Or are you team win now, ready to pack Painter's bags yourself if it means getting Joe Ryan and solidifying this rotation for a championship run? This is the kind of decision that makes or breaks a general manager's legacy. Don't just sit there. Hit that like button if you want the Phillies to be aggressive, and get down in the comments right now. Tell me, is Andrew Painter untouchable, or is a World Series ring worth any price? Let's argue it out below.